Welcome back to Mr. Hassan's Maths channel. I'm now answering question 3 part B from the Pure Mathematics P4 January 2022 International A-Level Edexcel paper. Part A is on a separate video which is about parametric equations. This here is about partial fractions, so I'll put it on a separate video. So we have to separate this fraction which was given in part A into this form where it's separated in two separate fractions. Now each of these factors in the denominator are linear factors, so what's going to happen is this is going to become a constant over one of the linear factors plus another constant over the other linear factor. Okay, we want to end up like this. We'll deal with that at the end. Now, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to multiply both sides of this identity by the LCM of the denominators, which is 7 minus x times 1 plus x. When you multiply this side, both of those cancel out with this, leaving you with 12. You multiply this term by these two factors, the 7 minus x cancels, leaving you with 1 plus x. And you multiply this term by this factor, or these two factors, you're left with 1 plus x cancels out, leaving you with b times 7 minus x. Now we need to find the values of a and b. Now we can find the values of those by trying to eliminate one of these terms by, for example, choosing a value of x which will cause it to be eliminated. So if I choose x equals negative 1, there will be 1 minus 1. The a will be eliminated, leaving us with the b constant. So I'll choose x equals negative 1. This side will be 12. You'll have a times 0, which is 0. I'll have b times 7 minus 1, which is going to be b times 8, which is 8b. So therefore I can say b is equal to 12 divided by 8, which I can simplify as dividing by 3 over 2. So that's the value of b. And similarly, to find a, I can choose a value of x which will eliminate the b, which is going to be 7. Put x equals 7 into this identity. This term is going to become 0, and I'll be left with 12 equals, and this will be a times 8, which is also 8b. So that means, 8a this time, not b. This is 8a. Therefore, we can say that a is also going to be 3 over 2. So now we can rewrite this. We can say 12 over 7 minus x times 1 plus x is identical to, we have a 3 over 2, so it'll be 3 over 2 times 7 minus x plus, and b, which will be 3 over 2 times 1 plus x. Okay, so now we want to write it in the form that looks like this: a over x plus b plus c over x plus d, where a, b, c, d are constants. All right, so now the thing that's a bit strange about this is a 7 minus x, and here it has an x. All right, there's no. So what I will do is I'll try to rewrite this so it says x. So what I can do is I can take minus 1 outside of here, or I can multiply both the top and bottom by minus 1, in which case I'll have minus 3 over 2 times, and this will be minus 7 times plus x, which is x minus 7. Okay, and this will be plus 3 over 2 times, we can write this as x plus 1, that's fine. Okay, so we've basically done it really. Let me just rewrite it in a bit of a neater way. So this was what our y was. So y is equal to 3 over 2 times x plus 1 minus 3 over 2 times x minus 7. Now this question I think is a bit kind of on the unfair side, okay, in terms of the way they have asked us to express the answer and the way that the actual answer comes out. Okay, so this is something which I think the examining board needs to consider, because a lot of students would have wasted time after this. They'll say, how come there's no constant multiplying these two brackets? It says x, it doesn't say any constant times x, so you can't write it as, for example, 2x plus 2 and 2x minus 14, because there's like just a 1 in front of the x, and it doesn't mention this. And normally when you write a fraction, you shouldn't really write it as like 3 over 2, like a fraction over a fraction, or a decimal over in a fraction, so 1.5 over it's not really, I mean, it's not really correct to write your answers not simplified form. So you know, this is actually the answer. If you go to the mark scheme, this is the answer. They say accept 1.5. They say accept 1.5 over x plus 1 minus 1.5 over x minus 7. They say accept that as well. And they even say accept 3 over 2 times x over x plus 1 minus 3 over 2 times x minus 7. But these are not proper ways of writing fractions. This is the proper way of writing it. So this is the proper answer, but it's kind of not like in, you know, the form that they ask you to write it in is kind of a bit misleading. So I have a few issues with the you know, the examiners for this particular question. They should make it a bit clear, because a lot of students will waste their time trying to figure out, hold on, I must have made a mistake. There shouldn't be, you know, any number here, all right? And that means I need to have like the whole numbers for A and C, really, for me to have it written in this form, for it to be written in a proper type of form. But anyway, you know, that's the issue that, you know, when we got the mark scheme, we can see, all right? But when you're in the exam, that might cause some students to waste some time or to lose some time and get, you know, unsure about the answer. So that's just one issue that should maybe be addressed by the examiners. But this is the answer, the proper way of writing the answer. If you wrote your answer in this way or that way, both of those would have been accepted as well, although they're not proper ways of writing fractions, really, not in the simplest form. Anyway, so there's the answer to part B. All right, and yeah, we should put the same values we did before. It says, so I don't think it makes x and 5. That was the values of P and Q that we got in the first part of the question. All right, so that was from the first part of the question. Anyway, if you go back to that, there will be a link to the playlist which contains all the other questions in this paper, which is somewhere in this area over here. A link to the playlist which includes partial fractions from P4, which is somewhere in this area over here. A link to the question before this, question part A, will be over here, and you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on this link. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.